Welcome back. This is By the Book, and we are your married relationship coaches. I'm Sent.
I'm Sil.
And we're talking about Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 9. But this is a sidebar.
Yes.
So we're talking a little bit about an issue that arose between Miguel and Lindy.
Yeah.
And what we saw her say in this episode that was pretty interesting was that she wants her significant other to see her at her worst.
Yes.
That to her is an indicator that someone can take you at your worst of love.
Yes.
And that doesn't really resonate with me. I'm not so comfortable with that. I'm not saying that your significant other should have to see you put on like this all-star performance at all times where you're like your perfect best.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to have moments at your worst, but to say I've heard the saying before floating around on the internet, like, you don't deserve me at my best if you can't deal with me at my worst.
Yeah.
I don't know how I really feel about that. Do you have an opinion?
I think it's some fracking knackle bull. That's what I think. I think, yes, if you're with a person long enough, they're going to see you in all aspects of life. They're going to see you happy. They're going to see you sad. They're going to see you upset, and anything that's in between that. However, I believe that when you're with your significant other, I believe that you should project your best self, I think. And when things happen and you do have to be vulnerable, you do have to be upset or whatever, I think that should be kind of like still with some type of filter, I think, within that, especially if you're upset and you're angry at your significant other. And it's kind of like this. If I'm angry and I'm upset with my wife, then should I just let it all just hang out, or should I still project some type of love, some type of caring with her and toward her, even though I'm upset with her?
Yeah.
Yes, I should, because everything that I do, even when I'm upset with her, it still should be within the realm and the lens of forgiveness, grace, and love. Mm-hmm. And if it's not like that, if I'm so upset that I can't project that as well as my dissatisfaction with whatever that she did or said, then I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, and it feels disrespectful.
Yes.
And it takes advantage of your partner. But I will say this, I've seen and experienced situations where that's just the case. Mm-hmm. And I think that the people who are the most stable for you, sometimes, I think this becomes really toxic, but the people who are the most stable for you, the people who you know aren't going anywhere, or at least anytime soon, you take them for granted. And so if you're having a bad day, and you want to just fly off the handle, you may not snap on your boss. You may not snap on your coworkers. You may not get into a fight with the person at the grocery store who cut you in line because they was bigger than you. And you may be worried you'll lose that fight or whatever. Yeah. But you can get home and you can scream and holler and curse and disrespect the people in your home. Because A, where are they going to go? And B, they love you.
Yes.
So you know that you have that security, and that, like, I can fly off the handle and they're probably still going to cater to me and they're going to love me tomorrow, even after I hurt everybody's feelings or disrespected everyone in this household.
Yeah. Or
just disrespecting my husband, or disrespecting my wife. So I think that is not something that is fair.
So the closest people to them, that's who they're going to hurt.
Right, because those are the people who are actually the most consistent and stable in their lives.
Yes.
They can get away with it. Yes. It's basically what I'm saying. And I think that is such a weak thing to do as a person, to take advantage of where you stand with people who love you.
Well, unfortunately, we're living in a time where people want to embrace their authentic selves, even the negative parts of themselves, instead of actually putting in the work to make those negative parts a better part of themselves. And we all have work to do. And it's just like that person that you just kind of like outlined, hurting the people that's closer to
Yeah.
them, that's their authentic self right now. But that is not fair to the people who are around them. And so we all have some change and
Yeah,
we all have some work to do.
acknowledge that there's growth
Yes.
to be had,
Yes.
and actually take strides toward that growth. And I think what is so offensive about the person bringing that home is that they do know how to conduct themselves.
Of course they do.
In different settings,
Yeah, of course
because that's exactly why they didn't snap on that boss or that coworker or that person in the grocery store,
Yes.
because they know how, when they need to,
Yes.
to reel it in. They know how to conduct themselves in a reasonable way. And furthermore, they know what's improper to
Yes.
do. But they decide, they make a choice to do that improper thing because they can get away with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, unfortunately, Lindy, maybe she's just immature, but she's in that frame of mind where she feels like, you know, I want to be able to let loose with my husband, and not in a positive way. I want to be able to like curse him out if I think he's wrong.
Yeah.
And he should be forgiving of that each and every time.
No.
And Miguel is trying to tell her, I'm not going to do that. And he's not wrong. Like in this instance, I think she's actually 100% in the wrong to think that he should have to tolerate that and that there should be this endless amount of grace extended. No, at some point you need to take personal accountability.
True.
And make yourself, like you just said, make yourself better.
Yes, absolutely. And I think a lot of times we forget, let me throw a little Bible in there, child. You know, the power of life and death is in the tongue. And so if we can really truly understand that we have a choice to either build someone up or to tear them down. And I don't care what kind of mood that you're in. We have a choice, just like my wife just said. We can do either one of the two. We can speak good, we can speak evil. It's up to us. And it has nothing to do with us wanting to embrace our authentic self. You know, so if our authentic self is hurtful, mean, abrasive, then that authentic self needs to get thrown out with the trash.
So that's pretty much a bunch of BS that Lindy is spewing, as far as I'm concerned. I do understand you wanting to be comfortable in your own home. You may want to vent to your significant other about those things that happen at work or in the grocery store, and you know, say how you wanted to cuss your boss out, or you wanted to fight this person or whatever, but it shouldn't turn into an attack against your significant other. And I think that's where Lindy is not understanding. Sure, absolutely. Be your authentic self. Be hurt when you're hurt. Be angry when you're angry. But that doesn't mean that you get to be disrespectful and you get to abuse your significant other.
No, still respect their boundaries. And that's the boundary that Miguel has been setting. He's been saying, no, I you know what? I don't like this version of you. I'm not going to put up or tolerate with this version of you. I don't care how you try to present it, that this is you and this is the real you or whatever. The real you better not show up around you.
Don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. Like, this ain't gonna work at all. So
yeah, no, I totally agree with him, you know, so he's I don't agree with Miguel on everything, but on that one, I felt him on that.
I mean, I'm honestly Team Miguel for most stuff at this point. Lindy is kind of blowing me. But let us know. Let us know what you guys think. It's interesting because, as I'm saying, I have seen, witnessed, and experienced the type of people that we're talking about. And so I know that there's a big pool of people who think that that's okay. And maybe for some relationships that works. I just haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen all the relationships. So maybe there's something that I'm missing, but I feel like you still have to have like some holdback. You gotta hold back when it comes to your spouse a little bit. Not just let loose on them and say that that's who I am. That's wild to me.
Well, you know, I heard several years ago, a wife tell her husband, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And she went so far as to say, your mouth and your tongue have over the years, they have worn me down. They have torn me up, left side and right side. And so we really have to take account and be very knowledgeable about how we speak to each other. And that whole, again, I have to say one more time, just for the audience, to get it, if you haven't gotten it so far, this authentic thing and you can be however you want to be in that authentic realm, that's a bunch of garbage. I'm sorry.
It is. It's an excuse. And I think that she's actually looking for validation in that. Like, she wants to feel like he's never going anywhere. So she wants to put out something bad, maybe even worse than she should, just to make sure that he's going to stick around, but she's going to run him away. And I think we said as much in our review about them.
We did.
So, I mean, no need to belabor that point. Yeah. It's just, we wanted to talk about that side point a little bit more deeply with you guys and also get your points of view on that. Because, hey, I mean, we happen to be agreeing. Today, we don't usually agree as much. So that's actually weird for me because I'm like, you don't have anything, no rebuttal, really?
I have no rebuttal.
So, I mean, hey, it works.
How about that?
Anyway, guys, let us know. Like I said, let us know what you think. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.